the first money story you ever heard was not yours. Welcome to Quantum Wealth Lab. It came from a kitchen table, a parent's sigh at the end of the month, a phrase so repeated it became invisible. Money doesn't grow on trees. We can't afford that. Money is the root of all evil. People like us don't have things like that. Rich people are different from us, and the way they're different is not entirely admirable. These phrases were not delivered as lessons. They were delivered as weather, as the ambient reality of a household moving through its financial life. And you absorbed them the way a child absorbs weather, completely, without filter, without the capacity to evaluate their accuracy. They became the operating code of your subconscious financial identity before you had any ability to choose your own. The code runs invisibly. It does not announce itself when it is influencing a decision. It simply shapes what feels natural, what feels possible, what feels like too much, what feels like the right amount for someone like you. It is the invisible hand on every financial choice you make, and in most people's lives, it runs completely unchallenged for decades. This session challenges it, not with argument, with replacement. Because the subconscious does not respond well to argument. It responds to repetition, to image, to the felt sense of an alternative reality experienced often enough that it becomes more familiar than the original code. You are going to write a new story about money today. One that is yours. One that you chose with your adult mind and your full understanding of what is actually possible. Let's begin. You choose a new story about money. Not the story you were handed. Not the story that was written around you before you could read. The one you are writing right now, in this session, with the full creative authority of an adult who has examined the original code and found it wanting. The new story begins with a simple premise. Money is available to you, not conditionally. Not after you have suffered enough or worked hard enough or proven your worthiness through enough years of struggle. It is available now to the person you currently are in the life you are currently living. That premise is not a delusion. Every piece of evidence about how wealth is actually built supports it. The consistent finding that financial identity, not background or circumstance, is the primary driver of financial outcome. The people who build significant wealth are not distinguished by their starting conditions. They are distinguished by the story their subconscious tells about what money is, what it does, and what kind of people are allowed to have a lot of it. You are writing a story in which you are that kind of person, not because you are exceptional, but because you have updated the code. Because you have looked at the original story and recognized it for what it is, inherited data, not permanent truth. The new story begins with, money is flow. It moves. It moves toward people who expect it, who are prepared to receive it, who do not have a subconscious system designed to repel it. I am writing a new story. It starts today. Visualize the kitchen table of the new story. Not the one from your childhood. The one you are creating, the one that the children in your imagined future will remember, or that you yourself can inhabit as a replacement memory for the subconscious to work with. At this table, money is spoken about directly and without shame. The adults here have a relationship with money that is characterized by competence rather than anxiety, by clarity rather than avoidance. When money is short, it is addressed, not with the specific quality of dread and silence that signals children that money is dangerous, but with the problem-solving energy of people who know that the gap is temporary and the solution is findable. And when money is sufficient, when it flows in as expected, when the account reflects the labor and the planning and the good decisions, there is no guilt, no compulsion to diminish it or hide it or qualify it. It is received cleanly, gratefully, as the natural outcome of a healthy relationship with a tool that works. In this household, money is a tool, not a source of shame or a measure of worth or a thing that reveals something embarrassing about the people who have or do not have it. A tool, neutral, functional, available, managed with the competence of people who were taught that managing it is a normal human skill. Feel that household. Let it become more real in your subconscious than the one you were handed. Identify the single phrase from your financial childhood that had the most power. Not the most dramatic one, the most repeated one. The one that became so familiar it stopped registering as a belief and became background truth. The one your family's financial identity was built on. Hold it, name it clearly, without judgment toward the person who said it or the circumstances that produced it. And now construct the replacement, the direct counterstatement that represents the new story. Not the opposite of the old one for its own sake, but the version that is actually true in the life you are building and the financial identity you are installing. If the old phrase was, "Money is always tight," the new phrase is, "Money moves toward me with increasing ease." If the old phrase was, "We can't afford that," the new phrase is, "I decide what I can and cannot afford from a place of sufficiency." If the old phrase was, "People like us don't have things like that," the new phrase is, "I am someone who builds exactly the life I choose." Find yours, make it specific. Make it true in the direction you are heading, not just the direction you are currently in. And then say it 3 times. Quietly, deliberately, with the full weight of an adult who is consciously choosing a new operating code. This is how the blueprint flips, one phrase at a time, consciously chosen, consciously repeated. The people who gave you the original story were doing the best they could. This does not mean the story was accurate. It means the people who delivered it were human beings operating under financial conditions that shaped their own subconscious code, which was itself handed to them by the previous generation, which received it from the one before that, in an unbroken chain of inherited financial identity stretching back through circumstances that cannot all be known. They were not trying to limit you. In most cases, they were trying to protect you, to prepare you for the financial reality they understood from their own experience. The caution around money was real caution, born from real difficulty. The stories about scarcity were their truth, drawn from their actual lives. Thank them for the care that was embedded in the warning, even when the warning was not accurate for the life you are living. Thank the previous generation for the survival wisdom that allowed your family line to continue to the point where you could be here, doing this work. Thank the chain of inherited identity for delivering you to the moment where you have both the awareness to examine it and the freedom to update it. And hold gently the understanding that you are the link in the chain that updates it. You are the generation where the inherited story becomes conscious and therefore changeable. Where the code that limited so many before you gets rewritten, not just for yourself, but for whoever comes after. The new generation decides. That is you, regardless of how old you are, regardless of how long you have been running the inherited code, the decision to update it makes you the new generation. The one where the story changes. The one where the kitchen table sounds different. The one where the phrase that becomes so repeated it becomes invisible is not "we can't afford that," but money is a tool and we use it well. You are worthy of being the generation that changes the story. Not because you have done everything right. Not because you have avoided all the mistakes of the people who came before you. But because worthiness, in this context, is simply the decision to take responsibility for the code you run, to examine it, to choose it consciously, to update it when it is not serving the life you are building. You have made that decision by being here, by running this session, by saying, at whatever level of awareness led you to press play, I am not satisfied with inheriting a story about money that does not reflect what I know to be possible. I am choosing a different one. That choice is the worthiness. It is not contingent on your background or your history or the financial story you were handed. It is a sovereign act of conscious identity construction, and it is available to you completely and without condition right now. You are worthy of the new story. You are already writing it. Step into the version of you who has been living from the new story for long enough that it is simply the truth. Not a story they are consciously maintaining. Not an affirmation they are effortfully repeating. Simply the operating code, the background reality against which all financial decisions are made, so familiar it feels native rather than chosen. In this version, money is flow. It comes and goes with the rhythm of a well-managed life, and the movement is neither frightening nor shameful. When it arrives, it is received. When it needs to move outward, it moves in service of a life that is being deliberately built rather than anxiously managed. The phrase from childhood, the one you identified in this session, is audible now only as an artifact. A thing that other people said once, in a different time, under different circumstances, from a story that was not entirely accurate. It has no current authority over your decisions. It does not shape what feels possible or what feels like too much or what feels like the right amount for someone like you. The new phrase is the one that shapes those things now. And the new phrase says, money moves toward me, I receive it cleanly, I manage it with competence, I use it to build a life that reflects what I actually value. That is the story. It is already being told in this session, in this choice, in this version of you. Bring the flip into its settled, permanent form. The childhood blueprint was not a single statement. It was a pattern, a texture, a quality of relationship with money that developed over years of repetition and absorption. The flip is not accomplished in a single session, but it is initiated in one. And the initiation, the first conscious choice of a different story, the first deliberate replacement of the inherited phrase with the chosen one, is the most important step in the sequence. What follows is repetition. Every time the old phrase surfaces, and it will, because neural patterns established over years do not dissolve after 14 minutes, you now have a practice. You hear it, you recognize it for what it is, and you choose the replacement. Deliberately, without drama, with the calm authority of someone who has already decided what story they are living. Over weeks and months of that practice, something changes at a level you cannot directly observe. The default story shifts. The new phrase becomes more native than the inherited one. The kitchen table in your subconscious starts to sound different. You are writing the story your children, or your future self in the absence of children, will absorb as weather. You are writing the code that the next iteration of this line will receive as the ambient truth of what money is and what people like you do with it. Write it well. It matters more than you know. Until next time, keep expanding. Your practice between now and the next session is simple and consistent. Every morning, before anything else, say your replacement phrase 3 times. Not as a hopeful wish, as a statement of the story you are choosing to run today. The subconscious updates through repetition, and the repetition that happens in the first few minutes of the day, before the analytical mind has fully engaged, when the subconscious is most receptive, compounds faster than repetition at any other time. 3 times every morning, your replacement phrase. And then, when you notice the old phrase surfacing during the day, in a financial conversation, in a moment of decision, in the background hum of how you relate to money, simply name it. Old story, and return to the new one. That is the flip, running in real time. When you have been doing this for a week, and you start to notice moments where the new story feels more natural than the old one, when the replacement phrase arises spontaneously before the inherited one, come back to the comments and mark the moment. The community question this week is, what was the money phrase from your childhood that you are replacing, and what have you chosen to put in its place? Your replacement may be the one someone else has been searching for. Subscribe, share this with the generation that is ready to flip the blueprint. Until next time, keep expanding.